What's up, everybody? This is Jamie Josta from Hatebreed and Kingdom of Sorrow, and I'm here with Dom on MaximumThreshold.net.
Automatic defense procedures initiated.
What we've got here is
maximum voltage, maximum power, maximum carnage. This is Maximum Threshold. Call the show at
440-709-4977.
Maximum Threshold. And here's your hosts, Dom.
He's unstable, but possibly worse. He's actually quite smart. He just makes errors of judgment along the way. Test the button.
Oh, what's going on? Fuck. Oh my god. I was under my desk. It's gonna be one of these shows, people. Oh my god. Fucking at my toe. Accidentally clicked the power button off on my router and my extender. Man. So I'm trying to get this fucker back running. So bear with me. I think this happened last time we had Bob on the show too. And the time before. Well, maybe not this scenario, but there was other ones that was just as good. Wow. This thing's kicking my ass. Yeah, so we start off the show here with some Fast Way. I'm still under my desk. So, I didn't want to pause you guys. So, fuck. Ooh, motherfucker. Hey, but you get old knees, man. That shit's a bitch. I'm working there here. I'm doing some fucking IT. Do you want me to talk to you like this? I can do that. Will I do this? try this one more time. I'm about to say fuck it. We'll just go run with it. If I lose you guys, I lose you guys. Fuck it. Fuck, man. The studio's hot as fucking balls. I'll do this a little later. I had everything running good. Then my fucking big toe. Yeah, I got shit situated in some weird place that shouldn't be. Fuck. Oh. Okay, let's get this party started. So, Bob Nalbandian, I'm getting ready to give him a call. He's got the new documentary out, Inside Metal, man, and I got to say it was a 2-parter, and when I checked this out, I'm like, this is the best shit he's put out. You know, this is something, you know, as a metalhead, you need to really jump. You need to jump in there and support it, man, because, hey, let's face it, there isn't that many metal stuff coming out that's promoting our music, you know. Okay, that's right. I'm out of breath from plugging in a router. You don't know, man. I was up and down, trying to do this. Oh. Let's give Bob a call. Let's get this going. We got Jizzy Pearl coming on in like 40 minutes. So we're going to talk about his new stuff too. So it's going to be fun.
Is this the maximum threshold?
It sure is, man. How the hell are you, Bob?
Hey, how you doing, Dom? Good to talk to you again.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh man, I have my power button that goes to my power strip to my computers, and instead of putting it somewhere where I can't touch it, it's like right under my desk. So my big toe hit it, and it knocked everything off. So I was down there when
That's funny.
I started off the show playing Fastway right in the middle of the shows right in the middle of the song when it happened. So I was climbing under my desk here with a pen, and I had to reset the extender. And
shit!
I gave up on it.
Did you end up interviewing Jizzy?
Oh, he's coming on in like 40 minutes. I'm calling him later.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Cool.
Yeah. So what's been going on, man?
No, not too much. Are we on right now?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were setting up for it.
Oh, I'm just rolling with it.
Things are going good, man.
Yeah.
Things are going well. Just keeping busy. New Rise of LA Thrash Metal Part 2 out. Just came out on DVD, and it's starting to come out on digital. So
Nice.
A few places. It takes some time. It should be up on Amazon Prime and Google Play and iTunes, and the physical DVDs out should be at most record stores, and of course you could get at Amazon and BestBuy.com, and so that's going well. Got the Banvers brand that through Cleopatra, that we're just about finished the editing with, so that's looking real good. That'll be coming out real soon. So yeah, things are looking good, and we're actually editing the San Francisco Bay Area Inside Metal.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that
documentary now. So so should have those coming out before the end of the year.
Nice. Yeah, when I was watching it, I'm like, the thing I liked about this one here is compared to the older one that you put out, it seems so much. The flow was really good. And there wasn't a lot of like narrative stuff other than Dave Ellefson talking through it. But I'm saying, like, when you're asking them the questions and stuff, you didn't hear your voice. You didn't hear you talking that often on there. And like the answers were just coming right from them. And it felt like you were in the room there. So it was really, really sweet and really smooth flowing. Curtis did a great job too.
Yeah. Curtis is awesome.
Damn.
You did the first one, and we learned a lot, doing them, and I think, each one is definitely improving, especially when it comes to the editing.
Yeah.
Because that's what we learned a lot, myself and Carl and Curtis, we kind of set everything up for it. And then, so we're choosing the parts and choosing the sequence so it flows. We try to make it flow as good as possible. So it's like the story by chapter, everything flows well. And, of course, when we interview the people, we just, I just turn on the mic and we just start talking, and then we just cut out portions. So some portions don't really fit into, certain chapters. So we kind of try to make things that lead into it, as best we can. And I think this movie definitely worked out real well. And I think part 2 even is better.
Oh yeah.
I want to let your audience know that a lot of people aren't aware that each movie is a 2-part movie. I notice a lot of the movies, the first one does, very well, and then I think people aren't too familiar that the second one comes out. So part 2 is out on Rise of LA Thrash Metal. It's a full movie, 80-minute movie, and it basically is. The continuation of part 1, but it takes just 3 hours to tell the whole story of each title. So we come in 2 parts, about roughly 80 to 90 minutes each.
How many hours of film did you have with all this?
That's hard to say. When we did most of the interviews, we did a lot of them together, for the first 3 movies. I knew, and even the San Francisco one, a lot of the interviews I did initially, I knew we were going to branch out into not only these 3, but go into the Bay Area. So if you're talking total for everything, probably at least 100 hours easy. Damn. I would say. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Are you going to be putting out?
Yeah, so that's the most time-consuming thing, is going through all the footage and kind of picking things out.
Are there any clips that didn't make it in there that you want to put on? As like a blooper reel or something like that?
Yeah, we actually did that with the DVDs. That's the cool thing about getting the physical DVDs. It's got deleted scenes. This one didn't have too many. I think each DVD has 5 real short, deleted clips, or when I say deleted clips, as scenes that weren't in the movie. And we have a photo gallery on there, and of course we have all the trailers on the DVD. And during the credits, what we did is we rolled a lot of footage too, a lot of the interview footage that you might notice during the end credits.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of, basically footage that really didn't fit into the chapters. We just kind of rolled during the when the credits are rolling. So we maximized all the interviews that we did for the 3 movies. I think we definitely used as much material as possible and everything. So I'm looking forward to the Bay Area one, because that's going to be kind of a different. A lot different interviews. We did include some of the LA interviews for the Bay Area one, when guys from Megadeth or Dave Lombardo from Slayer, they talk about their first shows going to the Bay Area. So we do have some LA musicians for the Bay Area one. As we had Bay Area guys in the LA one, as you know, of course. Lars and Eric Peterson from Testament and stuff. So. It's good to get that perspective as well. But we got tons of Bay Area. It's not just thrash; it's all bands from the glam, from bands like Davey Vane to Jet Boy to the Testament, Forbidden, and then even the bands like Lost Rocket, the bands that were kind of in between, that were in thrash or glam. So it's that that's going really well. So pretty excited about that.
How many hours of footage you have from Gene? Because he's in that movie a lot. You got to have a good 50 hours of him talking.
Yeah, I think Gene was one of the longest interviews, because I knew Gene when he was 14 years old, in Long Beach. He actually used to write for my metal fanzine, The Headbanger, back in the early 80s. And he had an older sister, Lisa Hoagland, who did a lot of the photos for the particularly the thrash movies, and she was very helpful. And she used to take him in all the shows when he was a kid. So he actually saw a lot more shows than I did, because he was going into Hollywood and stuff. And, at 14, and so he would turn me on to stuff. And so, we have a long history. So, yeah, Gene and I, once we get talking, it's like, we don't stop. And, everything he says is golden, Gene. He's just a really, just a real sharp dude. And, it's a great memory, as do a lot of the artists in the movie. David Ellison, Dave Lombardo, Lars Ulrich, of course. I mean, it's astonishing, especially people like that, that have, that do like, 300, close to 300 shows a year for the past 30 years or whatever, that they could still pinpoint certain shows and certain things that happened. And, so that's really cool that we got people that were real keen on their past history. So,
one of the things I noticed that from the rockers from back in the day, the smart ones, the ones that actually had, who did work like with the merch, or they help sell the CDs and do the business part of it. Those are the ones, the guys who kept diaries, and they kind of always referred to certain events that were happening where things were going on. So those are the smarter ones. Like I remember listening to like Rudy Sarzo.
As opposed to the
yeah, the other guys were just the ones that just sit around. Those are the ones that never remember nothing.
Are you there, Dom?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I remember, go on.
Oh, no. What were you saying?
Oh, I'll say.
That tracked everything like with daily diaries and journals.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Rudy Sarzo used to say that he kept a diary every single day of things that were going on, so he had like real good memories. And he listened to like some like wrestlers that they can pinpoint like certain events that they wrestled at going back 20 years. That's crazy. I could barely remember things that happened last week, let alone something that happened in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm getting you're breaking up a lot on my cell phone, so I didn't catch all that. I heard Rudy Sarzo kept a diary.
Yeah, want me call you right back on my phone and just put the speaker on here?
Okay.
Let me do that. Let me call you right back. I don't want to miss this.
Okay.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. I got you back on the phone here, and yeah, this internet stuff is crap. Like I said, my router went out, so I lost like a big pull up from my net here. So,
dude, that sucks. That's happened to me before. Oh. But no, this definitely sounds much better. So,
okay, cool.
But yeah, I think going back to your question, I think most of these bands, especially the thrash bands, they didn't think that they were to really amount to anything huge or have the longevity that they have 35 years later. So I don't think many of them thought about doing journals. I know Lars did for the very first show from Radio City that I saw in Anaheim, a small club in Anaheim. And from then I don't know about every single show, but I know all those early Metallica shows. Even when back when Ron McGovney and Mustaine were in the band, he had like a little journal for each of them. And yeah, you're right. The smarter ones. I mean, the people that kind of thought about it, but a lot of people just a lot of these bands didn't think they just wanted to have fun. They didn't look at it as a business. They thought, all right, we'll go out and play and have some fun while we're young, and and then here we are 35 years later. Most of these bands, these thrash bands, are still back together playing. I think more so than the, like the more mainstream or the, glam or hair metal bands or whatever you want to call them from LA. I think the thrash bands, which is kind of funny because, most people thought, the thrash bands, they didn't really take serious. But those are the bands that I really think had the best longevity and that are still going strong without all the bullshit and the drama. I mean, you see all the shit going on in the Rat Camp now and, the two different Great Whites, the two different LA, I don't know what's going on with LA Guns these days. And the two Queensryches and all these other bands that are just going through, Quiet Riot with just the drummer, carrying on. And here you got, most of these thrash bands that are featured in this movie, whether it be Metallica, Megadeth, Testament, even Death Angel, and, and then you have a lot of these bands regrouping, they're going stronger than ever, man. And they're putting out still putting out quality records. Megadeth, of course. Slayer's on, doing their final farewell tour. But, all these bands have been consistent and have been kept it together and kept it going. And still, you could arguably say these bands are bigger than they were back in the 80s. Definitely with Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. I think all the bands, are playing just big venues. They haven't, went down to a club level. I mean, they've all, really maintained themselves. Anthrax as well. That's
one of the things that I really enjoy about when I go to concerts, see some of the old bands like that, and just you get the chills. Just know, man, these guys have been around since you were a kid, and these are the ones that influenced you to be who you are, and it's really cool. And when I go to a Slayer show, it's more than just going to see Slayer. It's like all your friends come there from when you were a kid. It's more like a reunion. That's what it's like when you go to these metal shows these days, because these people, they follow and they don't lose them like the current music that's out now, man. It's in and out. Unlike our music. Yep.
Well, dude, it's funny you say that, because I was just thinking just the other day, a couple nights ago. I'm living in San Jose now, in the Bay Area. So, finishing up on this. So I'm an LA guy originally, but I know a lot of people in here, in the Bay Area. Obviously, growing up, all my old, pen pals that I used to trade tapes with, in the Bay Area back in the 80s. And, I see a lot of these guys here in the Bay Area, I ran into at the Priest concert, just tons of friends, Danny Shipman, who did a lot of the editing and stuff, and Brian Liu and Harold Lowe were there. And, I've met up with my old buddy Brian Brinkerhoff, who I knew in L.A., and, we were just partying, having beers together, and it's like, wow, it's like an old reunion. And so many other people, Craig LaCicero from Forbidden was there. Gary Holt I ran into from, Slayer and Exodus was at the show, and it's like, man, this is awesome. Even in the Bay Area, run into it. And even when I was in Vegas, man, when I saw Saxon in Vegas with UFO, I mean, Mike Varney lives out there now. Brian Slagle lives out there. We had like this private room upstairs, and we're partying with all those guys, and Frank Domino and a few other friends I knew from LA. Half of LA's out there, so it's it's really cool. From city to city, you go. Just being in the heavy metal family. People. And same thing when I'd go to New York. I'd run into a bunch of people in New York at some of these, rock and metal shows or wherever. And it's, you know people, and especially I think now with social media, you might not know the people personally, but I have people come up to me and just, oh, dude, you're Bob Nalbandian that does Inside Metal, that people I've never met, and they might have recognized me on Facebook or whatever. And it's like, yeah, so. Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying, definitely. Even 35 years later, it's like the family's still, this close-knit, tight, metal family, definitely.
That's nice. That's the metal, like I've always thought about it as like metal is it's a family. It's not like any other type of genre that it's all broken up in the other genres. Metal, man, people, it crosses barriers. It's not just the music, it's cultural. It's all around the world, and so everyone has something in common. Yeah.
Well, I don't think any other people take their music as serious. I mean, it's all most people. It's all about to show and impress. People like whatever's popular. Whether it be pop or hip hop or whatever. They're not really serious, deep into the people that are into metal. They know the metal. Of course, I mean, you get your mainstream metal fans, which is cool. People that just might know one or two of the hits, or just going there because they heard, oh, Judas Priest is in town or whatever. But most of the people that go to these shows are the diehards that supported the band for years and years. And it's great to see that younger people. I mean, I saw tons of younger kids, singing along, not even like, the rare songs, and wearing the metal shirts and the vests with patches, and I'm thinking, shit, dude, you guys weren't even around in the early '80s when this shit was going on, But it's great, and I think you're right. No other genre really, has that kind of loyalty and that integrity to the community and to the scene. It's a great thing.
One of the things I've been telling my daughter, And we have like YouTube play on our house all the time, and she watches all these weird videos, you know, and her mother, and they watch these the pop videos. But I get a hold of their playlist, and I throw Slayer in there, and so Slayer come on, and everybody just looks at each other, and I'm like, I'm telling my daughter Olivia, I said, you know what? You're going to go be seeing them in 2 months. She gets all freaked out over it. I said, I said, once this happens, I've completed my bucket list. Because I know I'm a proud father when I can say I've taken 3 of my 4 daughters to go see Slayer. And she's 9.
You better do it quick, dude. This is their last time
That's
around.
right. She's going. Yes.
I mean, every other band, you know, they get to their farewell tours, and they are still, you know, doing it 10 years after their farewell tours. So you never know with Slayer. But I think Kerry King's not gonna stop. He's gonna continue. And I think with Tom, I mean, his neck and his back, from what I understand, is just trash. He can't really continue on the way, you know, especially the way Slayer tour, you know. Yeah. So I'm sure Kerry will do some projects, maybe with you know, with Gary Holt or you know, whoever, and you know, do some different bands and different stuff. So I mean, they'll keep it going in one way or another. The music of Slayer. So.
What are some of the bands that you hear that are coming out, like the thrash bands out of your area, that you think people should be checking out?
Like new bands?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really too keen on a lot of the newer thrash bands. You know, there's a band I'm going to see coming up. You know, like I said, I'm not really in L.A. anymore, but I don't know where this band is from. I'm going to see there. I see they're playing in a week or two. And I think they're really cool. Power Trip.
Oh yeah.
And they're I don't know if they're really they you know, go from thrash to like stoner music to but you know, young guys, and you know, the cool thing about this band is they got stage presence. They look like the band from back in the day on stage. They put on a fucking show. You know, it's old school, and you can tell they're into it, and it's so you know, that's cool. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, for a while, you know, quite a few years ago, you had, you know, a lot of the, you know, Ex Mortis, Holy Grail, a lot of these, you know, Warbringer, you know, all these Havoc, you know, younger thrash bands. But I'm thinking, shit, you know, they're already close to 20 years old. Some of those bands, you know, we call them the new breed of thrash, and it's like, wow, they're so, you know, it's funny how you think of that. You know, you think new bands, but some of these bands are you know, been around since the millennium began. So, as far as like brand new, I don't really know too much. I know there's a lot. I mean, the problem with a lot of bands these days, a lot of new bands that I have, is no one's really doing much original. You know, they'll copy these bands and do it well. A lot of them, you know, performance wise, but you know, you're not seeing a lot of you know, unique ideas and creativity anymore. I mean, you get these bands like what the fuck, the Zeppelin band that everyone's raving
about. Greta Van
Fleet. Greta Van Fleet, and it's like, what? You know, you know, do something original, guys. I mean, come on. Yeah. And the other thing is, people keep raving about how young. Oh, they're so young. And I go, they're like in their mid-20s, early to mid-20s. That's when all these metal bands started out. Yeah, I mean, Def Leppard, you know, they were all 16 to 18. Yeah. Death Angel, the drummer Andy, was 12 fucking years old. You know, that's young. You know, these are young bands. Yngwie was 18 when I was with all the guys in Armored Saint. You know, they got signed to when we went on the road. We were all 18, 19 years old after they got signed with Chrysalis. So, you know, and they keep saying, "Well, it's great that these bands are so young. They're like kids," and it's like they're not kids. You know, they're older than most. You know, and even if you go back to the '70s bands, most of the bands, you know, Sabbath, UFO, Priest, whatever. Most of those bands started when they were 18, you know, 19, you know, playing. So, yeah, I mean, that's what it's funny when people say, "Oh, they're so young," and it's so great to see. You know, I guess because I mean, I say considering it is great that, you know, people are, you know, are still playing rock, but I would like to see them do something more original and, you know, not keep exploiting their age. You know, using that as a factor, like, "Oh, we're the new young kids doing it." You know, it's like, all right, whatever. you know. And not to sound, negative or anything, but, pessimistic about the rock scene. But, I just find it humorous when I keep hearing that over and over again.
Yeah.
People on Facebook and stuff. It's like, okay, come on. I get it. It's not, but anyway, what are you going to do?
I hear you. I'm during the 80s, I kind of like spent a lot of time in San Diego. And I didn't, the metal scene down there, it was so-so. It didn't have the balls like the LA was going. They had some of the bands that would trickle down there. This just popped in my head. That's why I was saying it. And are you familiar with any of the clubs that were down in the San Diego area?
Yeah, like Brick by Brick. We used to go down sometimes to a lot of the clubs. 4th and B, was that another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th and B. Soma was one, I remember. They did kind of some punk stuff and some metal. So, yeah, we went to San Diego a few times, and a lot of the bands from San Diego would come up here. Cage used to come up here quite a bit. They're still together. Sean Peck is still going out. And then, of course, going back, Rat came up from San Diego, and so did Warrior, my partner in the Inside Metal movies, Joe Floyd.
Yeah.
He came up from San Diego. Rough Cut, I believe a lot of those guys came up from San Diego. So there were a lot of guys. San Diego's only, people that don't know, is only a couple hours from L.A., so you had a lot of, those guys coming up here. But I know kind of in the 90s and stuff, it became like the big kind of surf punk skateboard, kind of scene out there. But, there's some good stuff coming out there. I do recall a few bands.
Yeah, I was there from around 86 to 90. So I was out there doing some good times. So I did a lot. I used to spend a lot of my times going up to L.A. or going down to Tijuana, just doing the things that you're supposed to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got a lot of the LA 80s bands in the clubs. Nice. Very cool.
And coming from Cleveland, you saw that music just watching the build up from our area, and then getting the opportunity to go out to California there and just see it really happening. And you really didn't think, because that's the way the culture was. You weren't thinking, wow, this is something different. You're like, this is just how it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was a great time, and it was pure. I mean, sure, a lot of the latter 80s when all those, the Poisons and all the glam bands started, just the hair metal scene, whatever, from the late 80s, that became phony, and that got ridiculous. But those were mostly bands that weren't from L.A. It was like everyone knew that all the labels and everything was happening in L.A., so everyone was coming to L.A. I mean, even Poison were a Pennsylvania band, most of those bands were from elsewhere, and they kind of, just saturated the scene. But when you talk, like the era we did our movies from, the Inside Metal, that's why we kind of cut it off to 86. Mm-hmm. And, most of those bands, it was a pretty pure scene. Even when you're talking Crew and Rat and all those bands, it was before, these bands were playing around before MTV, before this, so-called hair metal scene became hip. So they were doing it out of the passion and the love. And, of course, a lot of them, and I always say this is a lot of the record company influence. It happened to, a lot of the new wave of British heavy metal bands, Saxon and Raven and all that. They'll tell you that they were influenced by the labels and producers to dress a certain way, to poof up their hair, to lighten their music, to get on radio. And it even happened to some of the thrash bands doing more ballady kind of stuff. Yeah. And, you got to do this and that. So there was a lot of influence from labels, management, producers. But it started out very pure, and that's what I loved about the early 80s scene. Well, whether it be thrash or whether it be, and that's why I love that, the fact that, we, as a collective group, myself and the executive producer, Warren Croyle, and Joe Floyd, the producer, we said, let's start in, nobody's talked about the pioneers, from everyone knows Van Halen, but nobody knows really the other bands from the late 70s into the early 80s LA scene that were just fucking huge and dominated the scene. And, 800 people would show up, any given show, and these are bands without records out or anything, and some of these bands would play 3-4 nights a week, at the club, do a 3-night stint at the Whiskey or the Starwood. So, I'm glad we kind of touched an era that a lot of people weren't familiar with, and even with the thrash, we a lot of people remember, Dark Angel, but not really on a mainstream level. A lot of people were telling me, "Oh, wow, I didn't know Gene Hoglan was around that long." That we just knew him from like Testament and bands like that.
Yeah.
It's good to see that in bands like Cryptic, Slaughter, and of course, Hyrax, and so many of these bands were the big bands at that time for thrash metal. They were carrying the flame, back in the early '80s, and so I think that was important, especially when it came to L.A. because that's the thing I always say. Everyone's like, well, L.A. wasn't all that big. It was, if you knew it. It just wasn't in Hollywood. But a lot of these bands would play Fender's Ballroom, the Olympic Auditorium, the Balboa Theater on the outskirts of L.A., and they were drawing big numbers. And this was, it's just that this whole scene got, just the glam rock scene was so big that it just dominated everything. So a lot of these bands outside of L.A., a lot of people didn't know. So, even Abattoir and Agent Steel, I mean, they were big bands during that time. So, I'm glad that we're able to tell the story of I like to say that the real story, and a lot of people will just like stick with the big bands, just to get when I talk to people or mainstream people, and I know that's a reason why we're not on a lot more of these bigger channels and whatever, because people go, I haven't heard of half these bands, and I know Lars from Metallica. Why isn't there more of that kind of stuff? Or why didn't you talk to him about Napster? Or why didn't you talk to Great White about the fire? It's like, dude, you don't get it. What this movie has, for one, I wouldn't talk to them about that or whatever in a documentary film. But for two, this is about the thrash scene. What the fuck is that? This is about the early '80s. What does that have to do with it? Well, that would get people talking about it. That would get like, shut up, just go away, get the fuck away. I don't care who you are, what influence, just get the fuck out of my face. But that's just the business. That's the reality of it. Yeah. So I think for an underground film that we did, I think we get a lot of props from the fans and from the bands and stuff. That wow, it's really good that someone is telling the story, of how it happened, and we're going to continue that with the San Francisco title. I got my good friend John Sternansky, who's been a co-director and co-producer with me, and if people don't know him, he grew up in that scene. He was from the very beginning. He lived in Monterey, had the magazine Metal Rendezvous with Bill Hale, who we also have,
the photographer.
Him from the books. He lives in Hawaii now, so he wasn't quite as involved, but we got him featured quite a bit in the movie. And of course, Ron Quintana, who I think was really the king of the Bay Area back in those days, and he's contributed a lot for this. So, we got the genuine people there that were there, and and I followed that scene, even though I wasn't up in San Francisco during that time. I had all the the demos and all the bands that would come to LA, whether the Lost Rockets or the Ectus or whatever, when they played places like Fenders, I was always there. So it was, it came out really good. I'm excited about this Bay Area documentary.
Nice. Got to get going here, but Bob, how can people get a hold of the new one that's coming out?
Well, like I said, for the DVD, if you can't find it at your local store, most stores will be able to order it. They should be able to order it at the Barnes and Nobles and record stores near you. BestBuy.com, Amazon.com. You could get both Part 1 and Part 2, and if you get them as a package, they usually give you a discount, and I believe they're running some kind of special on Amazon. You buy them both as a package. So Part 2 just came out, and that should be going, hopefully, I haven't even checked this week. I don't know if it's up on Amazon Prime, but it's supposed to be going up there any day. Amazon Prime, Google Play, iTunes, and we're hoping that Access and a couple others. We're talking to a few other people. Access picked up on the first one,
nice.
And they were scheduled to do the second one and everything too. So maybe they're waiting for a future date at the right time, because they like to do it as a heavy metal day or whatever. How they did the last one that in December, the Merry Metal Christmas, where they did a big package with, or a big day full of metal with Inside Metal and the Motorhead movie and the Alice Cooper movie, and so hopefully they'll do that again, and we'll get the rise on some of the cable channels. It should be going to cable pay-per-view. So just look it up, man. Google it. The Rise of LA Thrash Metal.
Sounds
and
good.
it is the third of the Inside Metal titles.
Nice. Well, Bob,
Yeah.
I definitely, man, thank you for being on here and getting us caught up, everything, and just bullshit and talking about metal.
Dude, it's always a pleasure, and I gotta say, Dom, you've always been supporting from day one, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all the Maximum Threshold listeners out there for, their support and their love of metal, and for you for keeping it true and keeping the I gotta get out there to the Midwest, man. The Midwest metal scene seems real happening, with you guys and Red and Jerry, and of course the Classic Metal Show and Bill Peters' show, and it's like you guys got tons of metal people out there, So that's a good thing, man. Keep it going.
Sounds good, man.
All right, say hi to Jizzy for me.
I would definitely do that.
I don't know if he really knows me. I've seen him many times, but
I got you.
I wish him all the best.
Okay,
all right,
man.
Dom. Take care, man.
You too.
Bye bye.
I know it was a lie, knew it
There you go, man. There's some Armored Saint and some Overkill with No Holds Barred. And I'm going to get ready to give Jizzy Pearl a call here in a minute. So I'm going to play some of his stuff here just so you guys can get caught up. Hear what some of his new material sounds like. And here you go, man. I'll be back after this here on Maximum Threshold. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
We have a breaking news story.
Cameraman might be able to tell us what that says. Rizzo?
It looks like that. Just about.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Hey guys, this is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News, and this is your Maximum Threshold Rock and Metal News report. Cancer Bats released their 6th studio album, and it's titled The Spark That Moves. The band stated, "We were just tired of waiting, and we spent all of 2017 working hard on this album, all the while playing shows and talking with our fans, who were consistently asking when we would hear new music. We figured, why make anyone wait any longer? Let's just drop the entire new album all at once." So you can check that out on YouTube, and they also have videos for each song. And Sumerian Records founder Ash Avildsen was at a recent guest on Jamie Jasta's The Jasta Show podcast, and he talked about Periphery leaving the Sumerian label. And Sumerian signed the band 2009, and they put out 6 albums. Ash states that Periphery will apparently release their next album, which they're working on now as a self-release. And you can check that interview out on the Jasta Show. And Soilwork have released a video from the studio that teases new material. through their Instagram page. They're currently working on their 11th album. Recording is being held in Sweden at Nordic Sound Lab Studios, so can't wait for new Soil work. Continuing with your MaximumThreshold.net rock and metal news, Gus G has released a video for the title track to his new solo album titled Fearless. It's on YouTube. Gus played with Ozzy Osbourne and is a member of Firewind as well. His new solo album is out now through AFM Records. And the Melvins have released their new album titled Pincus Abortion Technician and have now released a music video for the track Don't Forget to Breathe on YouTube. Get ready for a large tour from the band, and you can check out their official websites for all the tour dates. And finally, Bad Wolves and Diamante have released a duet track titled Hear Me Now. It's on Spotify and iTunes. The song is off Bad Wolves' new upcoming album titled Disobey, which is out on May the 11th. This is Ron from YouTube's Rock and Metal News with a Z, and this has been your Maximum Threshold Rock and Metal News Report. Thanks for tuning in.
And some more Jizzy for you before I give him a call. Just getting you guys caught up.
Hello.
Jizzy.
Yes.
What's going on, man? This is Dominic.
Good. How are you?
Just hanging in there. I got caught up, man. I had to reset my router and modem, and it was just a fiasco over here. So I was playing your music here, getting everybody caught up with your new stuff.
Yeah.
Some pretty good stuff,
I haven't heard
man.
modem in a while.
Well, it's the router. I don't look at the modem that much. I have one of those extenders, and a little earlier, I had by my foot, and I accidentally turned the power off on everything. So I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" So I was down there fighting with it when I was playing some music. I had to jump back up to make sure the song wasn't
You're
over.
crapping out.
Oh, am I? Oh shit! Let me call you back on my cell phone here. Okay, I don't want to lose you. Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of crapping out. Want me to call you back or something?
Yeah, I'll call you right back on another line. Okay. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello, is this better?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, we were just talking about my fiasco problems I have over here. So let's forget about all that and let's just jump in here and talk about what's going on with you and your latest release that you got coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's called All You Need Is Soul, and it's coming out May 11th. I'm going in a couple of days to the UK for a month-long tour, and yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Nice. This one, man, I'm really, really digging this. This is one of these releases when it comes out, you're like, man, this is so hard, to pick a favorite song off here because you listen to it over and over and over, and the more you listen to it, the more it gets absorbed, and you really find yourself really digging it. So I think this one's great.
Yeah, I think it's, I said in a press release that it was the best thing I've done since Blackout, which is, pretty, the bar is set pretty high given that record. So, but yeah, it's definitely the best thing I've done in a long, long time, and I'm real happy with it.
And it definitely has that vibe from Blackout, and from beginning to end. You can just tell just by the guitar sound, and man, it just flows, man. I love it.
Yeah, Darren is on fire. He's definitely kicking ass.
Mm-hmm. So what made you put this one together like this as compared to your other ones?
Well, Frontiers, contacted me and asked me if I wanted to do a record. And to be honest, I've done solo records before, and I just really wanted this one to kickstart. I wanted to go back to the energy of the Blackout in the Red Room, the classic Love Hate, sound or whatever you want to call it. So that's what I did.
Nice, and you definitely did it, man. Did you have notes or anything that you took over the years? Like, yeah, someday I want to piece something like this together, or have certain scenarios that you wanted to put into it?
No, I didn't. It happened organically. It's just, I wanted it to sound a certain way. I didn't want it to sound like sometimes solo records sound like a collection of songs. Here's one I wrote 3 years ago. Here's one I wrote 2 years ago. Most of the record was written within a month or two period, which was probably why it sounds, very much like the same record.
When you were going through the recording, were these recorded at different places, or is this all at the same place?
Obviously, with the technology available, I was able to do drums one place and vocals and guitars another place and mix another place. You know what I mean? You can just kind of pick up and go with your little hard drive.
Yeah.
And but I definitely, the guitars were recorded in a cheap studio, but with really good gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I saved a little money not having air conditioning on 100-degree days, but the gear was killer. The amps were killer. They were vintage Marshalls, and
And, so that was what was important to me, you know what I mean? Getting that tone. I wanted that tone.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's cool about this. The guitars on this record is they just have a very pure tone. They're not processed. They're not buried in a bunch of reverb.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It kind of has that Jimmy Page plain physical graffiti tone.
It's like it was just plugged into like a Les Paul and a Marshall. That's what it sounds like.
Well, for the most part, you know what I mean? And the vocals are very unprocessed, and the drums are very unprocessed. I wanted a clean sound that was kind of like the old school 70s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, physical graffiti, that's what I was shooting for.
Mm-hmm. I think you hit it, man. You could, when you listen to it, you definitely don't hear like the processed parts to it. It does feel like everything was just organic and it was all, you know, it's like you were in a room and everybody just said, okay, let's plug in and just play and record it. And that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was like I said, it was a quick process because, you know, these aren't $1 million deals like the 80s anymore. So you have to kind of have to go in with a idea of what you want and get in and get out. But I mean, the record is pretty badass. I mean, I listened to it and I guess I finished it in September and I just kind of had to sit and wait for the Machine or Frontiers to, you know what I mean? Because they do grind out a lot of records.
Yeah.
And so I've been listening to it and it's just, I mean, it has that Blackout in the Red Room vibe, and I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything else you wanted to add to this release? Anything that didn't make it that you thought, man, it'd be really cool to put on there, but you didn't?
No, you know, I mean, I spent most of the money on the record on the mix. Sometimes you just have to be smart with how you spend the money. And, you know, everyone took a pay cut, myself included, a big pay cut, as in zero money.
Yeah.
All the money was spent on the record. And, so it was killer.
I definitely hope this thing takes off for you, man, because it's great and it has that old vibe to it. And all your followers from back in the day, man, they definitely need to jump on board and rediscover what they've missed over the years and it'll pull you back.
That's what I am kind of, you know what I mean? I sort of tell people that if they're a fan of the old traditional love-hate stuff, and there are a bunch of fans out there, for sure. You know what I mean? You'll dig it.
Nice. Who are you going to be taking on the road with you on the UK tour?
I have an English band that I've been playing with for about a year and a half. So it's really killer for me to just jump on a plane and have these guys there already rehearsed and ready to go, so I can just sort of jump in and we jump in the van and we're ready to go.
Nice. That's pretty cool to have a setup like that.
Well, it definitely geographically it works out a lot better for me.
Yeah. How do you think the reception is going to be for you over there this time?
Is that a trick question?
No, not
really
at all.
Good.
No. I'm just saying that, you know, when you put the feelers out there, whereas like the media biting at that, it's like, yeah, we're looking forward to this, and they're going to do what they can and whatever.
Well, I have a very good UK following, and I try and go back there every year. And so, yeah, I mean, I do okay over there. And so, again, people that are there and have dug the love-hate and dig the old records, I think are going to be, you know, very blown away by what they hear, and I think they're really going to dig it. And that's, you know, that's my intent anyway.
Mm-hmm. I got a question. One of the guys just texted me over. They want to know, what was their favorite track on this new one?
There's a couple. There's a song called When the Devil Comes, which is the longest song on the record. That's sort of a Zepp thing, and it's pretty badass. And there's one called High for an Eye, which is kind of a drinking song, you know, an old school love-hate drinking song.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I mean, you know, there's really not a turkey in the whole bunch.
Yeah, like I said, when I was listening, because I just got it a couple days ago and was listening to it, and like I said, I just let it play through track after track, and I'm like, wow, this is so good. Everyone, there wasn't like a filler on there, which was really nice. So I was hoping there might be a clunker or two in there, but there wasn't.
Yeah, I strive for no clunkers.
But you did it, man. I'm proud of you on this one.
Well, you know, it's funny because there hasn't been that. I mean, it's just starting. The record is just starting to leak out to people to listen to review, and I've just started doing interviews and whatnot. And you know, the consensus is pretty much, you know, where you're at.
Yeah.
And you know, the internet too. You know, it's funny because you go on the Blabbermouths and the other sites and so on, and it just seems that every time someone puts out a record, it just gets shit on real fast.
Yeah.
And not so much with this one. You know, I mean, they want to hate it because they hate my name, but they can't hate the music. So I'll take the goofy name nonsense, but you know, I'm glad you guys all love the record.
It's good, man. You know, if you put out something that's going to sound like shit, they're going to be all over that. But when you have something that they can't really, you know, put down, you know, there's no merit to stand on it. You know, it's not going to go anywhere, and nobody's going to be, you know, feeding off that.
Well, you know, I think guys like me, musicians, when I was with LA Guns with Tracy, I guess it was 2009, 10, 11. You know, he wanted to do a new record. He wanted to do original music, and I was still in that weird stage of people steal music. They don't deserve new music. You know, every musician, it goes through a small period of time where, you know, because traditionally, you know, record royalties were a way for guys like us to make money.
Oh yeah,
and that doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Circuit City, you know what I mean, and Radio Shack and Toys R Us, you know what I mean? There is no more record royalties, and you know, especially on Spotify. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, I'm still waiting for my .004 cents.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, you know what I mean? So there's a period of time where you gotta, as a musician, recognize that it's 2018 and that's just the way it is, and it's kind of like YouTube, you know. Every time I get on stage, I expect to be filmed. Even if I don't want to be filmed, you have to expect that there's going to be a video of you. So you got to be good.
Yeah.
You know, and when you accept that, it does make you better because it makes you sharper. You have to remember that you know that the internet's forever.
Yep.
And so anyway, long story short, Tracy was right and I was wrong. And he just put out a new record, which is great. I'm so happy for those guys, Tracy and Phil, and they're kicking ass. And yeah, you know what I mean? It's you apply yourself, you put in the hours, you know, and you work on your songs. And if you get lucky, you know, you come out with a record that's kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
That's it, man. You've done it with this one. I don't know much more to say about that. It's you got all the elements there. You got the feel from the past. It's straightforward, and it's what people like when they think of, you know, the older music, and it's right there, man.
Well, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a crazy world out there, you know, and sometimes, you know, things happen, and it would really be awesome, you know, if people got behind this record and I was able to, you know, mount a U.S. tour and you know, not, you know, not lose $1 million doing it.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool.
Do you have any tricks you're going to try on this tour to try to really make this explode?
I mean, do I have any what?
Any tricks or anything like that? Anything?
Tricks?
Any ideas or anything like that?
Like hanging on a Hollywood sign or something like that. That kind of trick.
Well,
no. You know what? It's been done.
How about getting a movie or something like that?
Well, that's not that. I don't. Yeah, you know, it's funny that you say that because I wrote one of the songs, well, 2 or 3 of them, but specifically, "When the Devil Comes" is sort of a Western motif. If you listen to the lyrics, you know, it's like a Clint Eastwood, hang 'em high. You know, I actually was trying to write for television. Guys like us, you know, that have our own little rigs in our house, you know, there's always this thing of, well, if you know, TV's always looking for music and this and that, you know, and like Duck Dynasty and Deadliest Catch and all these things. They're always looking for little bits of music. And I thought, well, you know, I'll give that a shot. What the hell?
Yeah.
So I wrote "When the Devil Comes" on acoustic guitar. And anyway, I've come to find out that, you know, the money is horrifying. I mean, I'm still waiting for my 47 cents for pit bulls and parolees. You know what I mean? I wrote a bunch of music for that TV show, and I've yet to be paid, or maybe I am. Maybe the 47 cents is in my account now. But anyway, it was an interesting exercise. But I took that song, which was originally just 2 verses and a chorus on acoustic, and I zepped it up, you know what I mean? I gave it a little bit of Zeppelin. I threw a little bit of old-style Montrose in it. And that song now is sort of a 6-minute, 48-second epic, and it's killer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's a great, you know, thing to have a song that's sort of that long, kind of like the old school Pink Floyd. Remember when Pink Floyd songs were 6 minutes, like Animals?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it went somewhere. You know, it had a beginning, middle, and end. It wasn't a 6-minute riff. It was a story, and kind of like this one. I mean, in my humble opinion.
Definitely, this is a great one, man, and yeah, and like I said, I love the way that the music bopped around from different styles and the feel of it, the vibe. I think that's the word I'm looking for. The vibe of this is like it's really pulls you into it.
I think, you know, again, the best record I've ever done, you know, was Blackout in the Red Room. That was my first love-hate record. That was in 1990, and I mean that was almost 30 years ago. You know, but that record still stands up. I mean, you can put it on today, and it still kind of jumps out of the speaker. It doesn't sound, it hasn't been tarnished by time, you know what I mean? Some metal, hair metal, whatever you want, Sunset Strip metal, is a little goofy, some of it, you know what I mean? We've suffered less in the goofy department, I think, because the music was so good. And still is, you know. So anyway, trying to recreate that was a big challenge for me. You know what I mean? This is my 5th solo record, and I didn't want it to just be a collection of songs. I wanted it to sound like a thing, a vibe, like what you said. You know, from beginning to end. And when from you hear, "You're Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone," it kicks in. Pretty much goes to the end, and the last song is kick-ass, Mr. Jimmy. I mean, that's one of my favorite songs. It's real simple. It's only 4 chords, but it's real simple. It's about the 27-year curse. It's about all the musicians that have died at age 27, and there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You know, there's Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, I mean, Brian Jones.
Yeah. Randy Rhoads, wasn't it?
So, sorry?
Was it Randy Rhoads, too?
I don't know if he died at 27. But Jim Morrison. Anyway, that's what that song is about. People asking. Somebody from Italy asked me about that. He goes, I do not understand these lyrics. What do they mean? Who is Mr. Jimmy? That's Jimmy Page. He's not dead. Just don't worry about him. Just think about the other things.
Let's see here. I just a couple more things here. I want to let you get going. So this record comes out in what the 12th, is it May 12th? It's coming out.
May 11th. Yeah, a couple of weeks.
Nice. Is there going to be any type of big push around that day, or is it just going to drop and just?
Well, like I said, I'm doing this UK tour, and the record comes out while I'm touring, which is great. And then, you know, it's up to the rock gods what happens. You know, sometimes, like for example, the Winery Dogs. You know, they kind of came out of nowhere, and people really embraced them, and you know, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, magically with that record. I mean, so you never know. You never know why some people's records rise and some people's records don't. It's kind of like movies. You know what I mean? Why are some of the classic movies never, you know, Blade Runner, Apocalypse Now, you know what I mean? All these movies that we consider classics, you know, bombed at the box office. It's very strange.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, Big Lebowski, you know what I mean? It bombed at the box office, but now people dig it on DVD and it's amazing and blah, blah, blah. So you just, it's up to the rock gods, man, whether or not you do the best you can, you write the best songs you can, and you put your seal of approval on it, and it's up to, you know, Mount Olympus or the Misty Mountains.
That's right. Well, what song would you like me to play for everybody off your latest release?
Oh, you asking me what I want to play?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you got the time, play When the Devil Comes. What the hell?
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Because that one isn't going to get played on radio because it's too long. So
6 minutes 46 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long one, but it's pretty killer.
Nice.
I mean, it's just the drums are great. Dave Moreno played drums. He's in Puddle of Mud right now, and he's just a solid. He's got that Vinny Appice, you know what I mean? That slow kick drum, and he's just really solid drummer. He's really, really good.
Nice. Yeah, so I'll play that for everybody. So one more time, how can people get a hold of this?
Well, obviously, it's on Frontiers, and, you know, they can find it at all the usual outlets, be it online or I guess it'll be in record stores and certain record stores. I heard that their Best Buy is continuing selling CDs, but, I mean, you know, they can find it if they want. I mean, I'm sure there are probably some record stores still on Earth somewhere.
Okay, Jizzy. Hey, man, I'm going to let you get going, but I definitely thank you for taking time and coming on the show here and talking about this. And definitely look forward to, you know, if you hit the Cleveland area here, man, we'll check you out.
Okay, sounds good, man.
Okay, man. And can you do us a quick favor?
Yeah.
Get the promo ID for our radio show for Maximum Threshold.
What's it called?
Maximum Threshold.
Oh, okay. Ready?
Yep.
Hey, this is Jizzy Pearl of Love Hate, and you're listening to Maximum Threshold.
Nice. Thanks, man. Thanks, Jizzy, for being on the show tonight.
All right, no worries.
Okay, have yourself a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. And there you have it. So I'm going to take a little break here. We're going to come back, and we're going to play When the Devil Comes here on Maximum Threshold Radio. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Be right back. There you go, man. You don't know what when the devil comes. That's off Jizzy Pearl. All You Need Is Soul release. Comes out May 11th. Make sure you get your hands on it, man. The record's really friggin' good. I wasn't bullshitting them. I love this, man. So I'd say this may possibly be my record for the year. I'm telling you, man, it's that damn good. I love it, man. Did a good job. Loving it. Can I say? On Frontiers Music. That's right. You can get it. If you guys want more details, like the catalog number or barcodes or anything like that for all you technical people, you also have an LP also out with 180 great, with a gatefold in there too. So 180 grams. Okay. Damn. I can't check my sugar, fuckers. Okay. So there you go, man. I'm going to take a break here. We're going to come back and then we're just going to bullshit for a bit, play some tunes, and then I'm getting out of here, man, because fuck, I got shit I got to do. I did a show for you guys. Plus, I had to talk to Jizzy. He overrides you guys. Okay. Oh, I want to tell you, all the people out there, we're no longer with JWN Media. They just kind of quit, left us high and dry with all our websites. So, yeah, we're no longer with them. Jay was a cool dude there for a long time, and I know he just got other things he's doing. So if you notice our website was down for a while or our stream was down, that's why, because he just decided just to say, fuck it. He quit. He threw the towel in, but that happens. So we're looking for new sponsors for all you people out there who's looking for a way of getting your stuff out to the masses out there. You want to utilize our resources here at Maximum Threshold Radio and the websites and all our different media outlets and our syndicated stations and shows that we have on our network and everything, man. Hit me up. I don't even have a link on the website yet for bands for music submission yet, because I had to rebuild the whole website from scratch. Literally, there was nothing. We lost everything. You're talking 13 years of content we lost just because the website just went down. So I had to start all over, me and Rad Chad. So if you guys are a writer or anything like that, want to do some concert reviews or CD reviews or whatever, hit me up. We need content for the website. We got a new game plan for this, and we're just gonna blow this out of the ballpark. So all those sites that you're used to, like your Loudwire and Blabbermouth, blah blah blah, those kind of sites like that, this is kind of be like a little better. So we just want to get more people involved with it, with the designing and content information. So if you know anybody who wants to be part of this, let me know. We've also expanded onto other how do you say it? We have other websites too. We're affiliated with like the Metal Network. For people like country, we got the Country Music Group. We have the Cleveland Rocks magazine. Of course, Spat Records, leading the charge. Maximum Threshold, Morning Wagon. Oh, speaking of Morning Wagon, got some cool news coming down the road pretty soon. It's gonna be pretty cool, man. We're looking for a new singer. Our new singer is moving to Vegas. Fucker. Just when we were getting the groove going. So he's gonna be gone, and we need a new singer. So, I want to thank all those people that came out to our last show, the Morning Wagon show over at the Fantasy a couple weeks ago. The place was packed. Thank you. It was nice. We had some cool pictures that were taken. Had a bunch of photographers there. They said that there was over 500 pictures taken. I saw 21 of them. So there'll be more coming out someday. Keep your eye on that. Let's see. was wondering where the guys were at from Evil Lunar Creatures, because usually they're around here, asking me to play their stuff. So they're not around. So how am I gonna play their stuff? They're not listening. I could play your stuff, man, if you ain't listening. This is the way to get. This is the key. This is how you get your shit aired. You nag me during showtime. I'm like, fuck, I'll play your stuff. Remember we used to do that years ago? When our chat room was really big. This was before everybody pussed out on us. Damn, it's right. I don't even have a chat room anymore on the website. Shit. So, I gotta put that together. I forgot all about that. I gotta take a drink with me. Jeff Kiss is already requesting, please play Evil Lunar Creatures. Okay, but I can't play that right now because I got other stuff lined up. Just for you know. Let's see. All I need. We started the show off with some Fastway. And then after Fastway, we played a bunch of Jizzy Pearl stuff. Play I'm a Legend tonight by Kiss. Did I play that? Did I play that a couple weeks ago? Oh, damn, I took all Kiss off our board. Let's see. Well, let me look for this stuff so I can reset our board up here. And we're going to continue with this. Here you go, man. Here's some more. This looks like it's a damn love-hate night for you. Here's Blackout. Whoa, listen to that.
Hey, it's contest time. Be the second person to text the show at 440-252-0058 wins. That's right, caller number 2, 440-252-0058. Shoot us a text and you'll win.
9 out of 10 alcoholics listen to Maximum Threshold. The 10th one just happened to be a heroin addict. MaximumThreshold.net.
You can now hear the Maximum Threshold radio show on Stitcher Radio. Stitcher allows you to listen to your favorite shows directly from your iPhone, Android phone, BlackBerry, and Palm Pre. On demand and on the go. Don't have Stitcher? Download it for free today at Stitcher.com. Once again, you can hear Maximum Threshold radio show on Stitcher.com.
You want to listen to Maximum Threshold radio on your phone? You can do so. The app is out there, baby. Tune in radio. Go to your little market there and download Tune In Radio. Just type that in the search. Tune In Radio. Once you download that app, click it, activate it, blah, blah, blah. Search Maximum Threshold. Once again, that's Tune In Radio. You can also catch the podcast on there also. It's real nice. Check it out. Tune In Radio for Maximum Threshold Radio live.
Phone lines are open. Call now, 440-709-4977. Once again, that number is 440-709-4977.
Okay, I got a dedicated song here to go out to somebody. This is by request. This was requested to go out to Michael Strong. So this is a song that goes out from Beavis to Michael J. Strong.
By request on MaximumThreshold.net.
Let me tell you, baby, side, white and gray.
to the guys who have a lifetime membership to the Mexican Donkey Show's Worldwide Club, Stan and Gerald on Maximum Thunderbolt.
Oh, I love that. That's my daughter, Maggie. She did that one. Put that together. Stan and Gerald. Okay, well, let's hear. I got another interview for you guys. Pre-recorded one. This one was done. Let's see. Michael and I at our show last. This band was. They were recommended to come talk to us from Chicago. They were playing the venue downstairs from when our show was getting ready to play. So me and Michael met with these guys and you know, we interviewed them. Classic Michael and Dom interview with these guys. Band is called Radiomen out of Chicago. Pretty boys. Yep. Cute. So I'm going to play their interview. So I'm going to take a break so I could get everybody on board so they can listen to this. So I'm going to play another song. What do I want to play that we haven't played in a long time? I gotta. Let me just play this. This is that instrumental song I did. It's called what the hell did I name the song? Angels of Movement. So here you go. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. We're just gonna play this until I get this set up. This is Angels of Movement. This is one of my instrumentals.
offense to anything that's said. It's all people don't like the serious interviews.
Yeah.
We didn't start recording, did we?
Well, yeah, it's all right, but try to get my levels going. This is the actual second interview I'm putting on this recorder, so it's new.
Do it.
Wow.
Everybody, this is Rodrigo and Dominucci from Maximum Threshold, and here with David and Ryan from Radiomen.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. So what the hell's going on, man?
So we're here in Cleveland. We just met Dominic here, and we're just playing a show. We're from Chicago, and we're playing out at the Symposium.
Nice. We were talking a couple minutes ago about giving hand jobs in the back of the ship here at the Fantasy.
Yeah, man. They used to have the...
Wait a minute. I got to interrupt. That's a lie. We were talking about giving knobbers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Dom said... That was the best place for blowjob.
Oh, it is.
Because it's soft cushion floor and his knees don't get all messed up.
Right, I don't got to worry about getting chaffing down there.
So before this descends into blowjobs and hand jobs and fisting each other, where can everybody find music and info about the Radiomen?
So if you guys want to follow us online on social media, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look up the Radiomen. We're the only result. But you can also listen to our music on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, and so for Tidal, all the streaming music websites.
Yeah. Not SoundCloud, because SoundCloud fucking sucks. That's for the pussy electronic shit,
Yeah. Or the rappers. The rappers always do that, but we like to get paid for our music.
Yeah.
So Dom wants to know if it gives you a nice taint punch, will you give him those white shoes?
Those are pretty damn sweet.
Not to be confused with Dom's old white New Balance that he used to wear all the time.
I do like these shoes a lot, but that is an appealing offer.
Those I seen shoes like that in thrift stores. Is that where you got them at?
No, I got these ones online. I got another pair of shoes. They were fucking elf shoes. They point up they're like.
That's what I was saying because they look so
they're
big.
Like 16-inch longs, and they just go right past my fucking foot, and they're like heels too. They look like
right back up to his knee, you know.
How they're new. Look at the shoelaces.
But we do actually go to a lot of thrift shops for a lot of our style. Yeah. We're very, classic rock inspired. I personally.
So you can see today he has the cocaine dealer-esque.
Yeah, I got the whole 70s, blow dealer and going on, shady guy in the alley.
I got a closet full of those. I was on a kick for a while. I'd buy them whether they fit or not because I'm like, I'll find someone that'll fit in this. Yeah. So every once in a while you score the one that has all the fur on the lapels and you're like, you feel like Huggy Bear, right?
I just got one that's like all fur on the inside. It's a vest, It looks very Led Zeppelin-y. It's cool. But it also looks Greta Van Fleet, and we don't want to be compared to them because they're like bringing rock and roll back and everything. But, we're doing something I think that's pretty original.
Here's my problem with Greta Van Fleet. They're not bad at all. But the fact that they try to say, "Oh, we're not influenced by Zeppelin," is
they
like
are Zeppelin.
It's like when way back in the day, you guys said you kind of have that '80s sound. The Bullet Boys came out, and instead of just saying, "Yeah, we fucking worship at the teat of Van Halen," they tried to say, "Oh, we're Aerosmith inspired by like Ode to Joe." No, fucking say Ode to fucking Diamond Dave, the king of all fucking Jews, the king of all men, and Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, man. Robert Plant just made a comment on that. He said that he doesn't like that they're doing exactly that. They're not mentioning his name or anything. They're saying the same thing, Aerosmith. And don't get me wrong, Steven Tyler made me want to be a rock star, and I'm fucking living that dream, trying to. But you just gotta, at some point, when your guitars and your rhythm and everything and the vocals mimic Led Zeppelin, I think that kind of is a little cheap without the credit.
And people's argument is, oh, well, not Van Halen, Led Zeppelin ripped everybody. Well, Led Zeppelin may have borrowed a little too much from some people, but they didn't. They didn't sound like them. They just took like their lyrics and parts of their stuff. There's a little bit of a difference. I mean, it's a slippery slope. So, who is your favorite '80s band, cock rock band? Because we'll talk some cock rock.
That's
Motley Crue. That's just touching the fucking surface. What do you know about Pretty Boy Floyd? What about Bane? What about Junkyard? Come on. Man, Dangerous Toys.
See, now we do sound very 80s hard rock and everything, but I go back to the 70s and 60s, man. I mean, lyrically, down to Bob Dylan and Janis Joplin, but, like I said,
Aerosmith. Blues influences, too. I'm a big, Muddy Waters, B.B. King, too. It's just, it's really everything that,
But the thing is, we love the attitude of the 80s cock rock. Yeah. So, I can't say that without cracking a smile, but, it's so fun and it's entertaining to watch. That's why we can afford to tour the country and do stuff all over because, people like seeing a show, versus the bassist talking to the drummer.
An old Chicago band. They moved to LA. They're called Life, Sex, and Death.
Okay.
They're LSD. They were great.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of them, yeah. I couldn't name you any of their songs, but...
Talk about one of my personal favorite bands from Chicago. I'm not going to say Cheap Chicks from Chicago because they're from the suburb, but like Rockford. doom metal band called Trouble. I love it.
Okay. I was worried you were going to say the Buckinghams. Oh, Lord.
Let's get down to the meat of this whole Chicago business. Do you put all that bullshit on top of your Italian beef sandwich, or do you just eat it with the juice and the meat?
You know what? Honestly,
I'm into juice and meat.
It's okay.
I'm not into that marinara crap.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess I do load some of my Italian beef with that. I do put ketchup on hot dogs, though. That is a Chicago sin, and I do that. Unfortunately. If I put everything else on hot dogs,
John puts herpes on hot dogs.
So, yeah, you can only get it once.
That's right. Yeah. What's your philosophy on deep dish? Do you prefer deep dish? You like the thin crust? What do you like?
Deep dish. Okay, so everyone's like, deep dish is Chicago, right? Deep dish is blah blah blah. Most Chicagoans eat thin crust pizza. It's not like it. Deep dish is for the tourists. And two, the whole New York Chicago thing, deep dish, flatbread. It's like it's two different things. It's like I agree, flatbread is very good, or thin crust, but I gotta go with deep dish sometimes just because I'm a tourist.
What sucks is because I love the deep dish, I love the flat crust, I love pizza, but I don't like when people say, "Oh, it's deep dish," and really it's just a real thick crust with that. Like with stuff on top, like a normal thin pizza. See, we're conquering the important.
That's right.
Yeah.
Subjects here.
Yeah. Because the thing is, we have to eat out all the time on the road, and usually it's Wendy's or Steak and Shake or something. But we should really stop at a deep dish place. Treat ourselves.
They're not open, man. We get
out really
of
late.
The venue at midnight later.
Who's the biggest bag of dicks you've been on the road with?
Ooh. See, we haven't done any co-headlining tours, but we experienced this one band, even by us, where they I don't even know why we booked them, but they did all these One Direction covers, but they tried to rock it up and everything, and they were just so pompous and just aloof and just just all over. And then there was another one in Louisville that, remember, they emailed us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't even remember.
But more importantly, there was one here. I'm not going to say the name of the band, but they... Maybe,
Cockwagon.
Yeah, Cockwagon, right? So, no, they were Morning Wood. Hey. But they just they emailed us because they didn't understand the basis of the show and everything, and they had so many misconceptions, and he just fired the minute he stepped out the door, he got in his car, wrote us this long ass email of nothing we cared about. We read it in our hotel room, laughing our asses off because he's talking. He's like, "How fucking blah 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 blah." It's that's not what that's about. It was insane. So needless to say, we never booked them again.
Really important question. Would you like some combos?
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
They really cheese the hunger away.
They do. Yeah, man, I didn't have anything to eat, man.
This was on our rider.
Really? No way.
Yeah, combos, a 12-pack of grape soda.
And only red
Get some pork rinds.
A 40 ounce of Colt 45 malt liquor.
And lube.
A couple buckets of fried chicken. But all we got was the combos.
It was in the budget.
Help yourself.
No,
I'll shit myself. Have you ever shit yourself on stage?
You had a fear of that.
I do have a fear of shitting myself on stage. I never want to eat. I hardly ever eat before gigs.
You don't want to get the good shits.
I'm like, damn it. If I'm on stage and I have to take a shit, that's number one fear up there. It's just standing there trying to sing a song and.
You don't want to get the Hershey squirts while you're trying to entertain an audience. That's just not good. Plus, it gets all over the stage, and when it's carpeted, it just.
Right, as long as somebody else is following you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. They'll clean it up.
Leave the mess for someone else. Do the opposite of take only pictures, leave only footprints. Yeah. Just leave fucking blast of shit all over the place.
Yeah, I mean that's what we pay the venues, for the room fees and everything. That they clean up after us. So I mean. I'm not in the business of cleaning service. I'm in the business of rock and fucking roll. So
So people who aren't familiar with your music, wanted to let them know a little bit about your style of music.
Well, I mean, it's just in-your-face rock and roll, and we just try to, put on a great big show that people are going to be satisfied with when they come to see us. And it's just like hard rock and roll with some blues influences and, whatever.
It's like there are bands that do, like, the blues rock and everything, but I think what we really bring to the table is, that, in your face, groovy and, like, it makes you want to, like, dig it,
Oh, yeah.
But, what we really present is the show. We're running around. We have whatever, smoke cannons, CO2, whatever.
Blow shit up.
We blow shit up, We'll be getting fire machines, too, but, we won't tell the venues about that.
I don't want a repeat of the Great White at the station fire.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that. Speaking of blowing stuff up, I'm getting ready to blow up the toilet myself. So, everybody, make sure you check out Radiomen, coming to destroy a toilet and hotel room near you.
And if you're in Cleveland on July 6th, we'll be playing at the Symposium again, and we'd love to bring some rock and roll to your faces.
Nice. So one more time, where can people buy merch and get your music and your websites?
So our website is radiomenmusic.com. You can find all our social on there, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then we're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Tidal, and Amazon Music. So you can just search us up, The Radiomen. Our newest album, Black Roses, came out in October. We recorded that down in Nashville, St. Louis, and in Chicago. So we're really proud and confident with that, and we think everyone will love it. Check out Dairy Queen, by the way. That's a good in-your-face sexual.
He's diabetic. He can't have Dairy Queen.
No whipped cream.
Are you guys on the Grinder yet?
We do use Tinder. We get lonely.
That's where most of our fans are, on Tinder.
Yeah, that's, they don't come to the shows, but they come to the hotels.
Most of ours are on Grinder.
Yes.
Oh, right.
We like a thick, meaty, young lad. Not young, like at least 18.
Yeah, because I might leave right now. I mean...
Too late.
Run. yeah. But, define teenager,
Yeah.
But...
Listen, the age of consent...
Depends if it's Asian or English or
they
American
don't...
or Mexican.
Be careful. If you meet a young Asian boy, it might be his son.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
From when he
He's
was
making
in
a
the
living.
Navy.
Oh, boy.
He was selling his hot body to all them Filipino women over there.
Can't help that.
I might fangirl over him. Like, Dominic's your dad, man.
They used to call me my ex-wife's name because I had her name tattooed on my arm.
Oh, really?
You know what her name was? Her name was Bruce.
Bruce.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you for being on here.
Thank you, yes.
Make sure you check out Radiomen, bitches.
She's living the dream, looking hot and mean.
There you have it, man. It's the Radiomen. Their debut here on Maximum Threshold Radio. Well, I'm getting ready to get out of here, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's edition of the Maximum Threshold Radio Show. Man, we had our ups. We had our downs. I had fucking computer problems. What's fucking new, man? But we had fun, and we made it through it. Over 2 hours of this tonight. So, like I said, we're getting out of here. And I'll upload this. And if you guys missed any parts of this, their interviews tonight with Bob Nalbandian, with Jizzy Pearl, or the Radiomen, you can listen to it all, man. It'll be right there available for you. I also want to say we got a new sponsor on our Roku site. For you people who listen to Maximum Threshold Radio on your Roku, you may be hearing some commercials popping in and out of there one of these days. We didn't ink the deal yet, but I think Sony's jumping in on there with us. So we'll see. I don't know how that's going to work out. They wanted numbers. I gave numbers. They were like, shit, they need it. Well, what can you do? I guess when you got a good product, you got a good product. And even though we have our problems, we're still better than a lot of the other fuckers out there. Yeah, that's right. I used a little vulgarity tonight. So, well, you guys have fun. You know what I didn't do tonight? Shit. I didn't play any of this for you. So let me play this and then we'll get out of here.
Up and
I, pop and I.
All the way from Arizona tonight. Free hugs with every tank punch.
Sometimes you just gotta be the change, my boy. Be the change you wanna see.
Don't know
There you go, man. That was, of course, Morning Wagon, our band. Yeah, and oh man, of course, that real fun interview that we did, Michael and I did with Radiomen before our set. It was really cool, man. Follow them out. Follow those guys. Get their latest release. We played something off it, so do it, man. You can follow them on I know they're on Facebook, but you also go on, if you go on Radiomen Music on Twitter, you could follow them there. Check them out, man. Good dudes, man. Music is really good. They're really cool to talk to and hang out with. Good people. So make them your fans. If you check them out, send them a message, tell them you heard them here on Maximum Threshold and you want them to come to a town or city, village, or whatever, hamlet near you. So we're getting out of here. And I just want to say thanks again for everybody for tuning in. It's episode 5. I don't know. Let's see what number. I think it's 534 or something. I don't know. Let's see. I'm guessing 525. I was close. This is episode 525 in the books. So I'm getting out here. You guys take care. This will be available for download. Subscribe to our show on Twitter, Amazon, whatever, Google Play Music, wherever, man. You can do a search for Maximum Threshold, MTRS, Maximum Threshold Radio Show, and it comes up, man. There's so many people taking our freaking feed and on their websites and just playing it. I lost track. We had over 60 stations that was replaying our stuff. I mean, now there's so many different places just take our feed and our recordings and stuff, and they put it on their website like it's theirs. Who cares, man? As long as we're doing our job, getting our word out there to everybody, it's all that matters. So take care, people. You know we love you, and see you guys next week. Got a cool show lineup. I have absolutely no clue what else coming out, but let's just say, I don't know. Okay. See you guys.
You just listened to Maximum Threshold Radio Show. Airs live every Saturday night, 8 p.m. until whenever the fuck they shut up. So tune in.
It is pointless to resist.